Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and I am joined by Benny Wills of JoyCamp. I'm very glad to finally be talking with you on camera, and I've watched you perform for quite a while. Of course, JoyCamp has put out incredible videos for a long time now. How many years has it been now?
We started in 2012, so it's been 7 years. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 7 years now. Actually, almost 7 years to the day.
And really one of the most succinct expert performers in this movement when it comes to actually bringing this message to the forefront, a message of truth, liberty, freedom, the conspiracies, the stuff that we're not being told about. I kind of wanted to talk to you today about your method of telling truth through comedy, because I find that the best way to tell the truth is through comedy. When you laugh at something, you know it's true. Yes. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you big time. My method is, well, basically using the skills that I've acquired all throughout my life. I mean, I was a performer since I was 4 years old, and I studied theater for 12 years. I've done over 55 plays. I have 2 degrees in performance. So I essentially just took the tools that I had and applied it to truth-telling. So that's my formula. But like you, I mean, I'm constantly trying to process all this information that I'm taking in and making sense of the world. And so for me, when I produce something, it's a way of making it make sense for me. So I'm consolidating my ideas and reducing them down into a nice little package that is very therapeutic, and then I can share it with others, and it becomes a very healthy thing for everybody. So yeah, I mean,
I've seen you perform in front of a few people that might not exactly agree with your particular message, but you do the performance and I see them laughing, and it kind of hits them, right? They realize a truth that they hadn't considered before because you tell it in with a comedic kind of poetic way, performance. Yeah. And I think that's so important because how many people are really doing that in this movement? Do you know?
Not many, and I had this realization last year at this conference, and I thought, wow, I get to be that guy. Like, what a gift, what an honor. I mean, I was going down the rabbit hole by myself for so long, so now to be validated in this way and get to perform at these conferences and be someone who uplifts people is such a gift, and it's very rewarding because it's, it can be a really lonely path being someone who is on the quest of truth. So being a guy who gets to, lighten up the room and convey a message in a much more lighthearted way, gosh, I'm just so honored to have that role. I mean, it's great.
And let's get into conspiracy, which will surely get us shadow banned here on YouTube, because of course recently YouTube put in a shadow banning policy for conspiracy related content, which includes talking about the Federal Reserve, by the way, because that's conspiracy minded. You might be talking about the Jews or something like that. You know how it goes. Yeah. It's so unrealistically ridiculous. It's amazing that it's been normalized over time. But I wanted to talk about conspiracies nonetheless, because we are not going to stop talking about real issues that people aren't talking about at the threat of losing money. So can we talk a little bit about why you woke up, how you woke up, because you were in the performance industry, you were in the entertainment industry going back to when you were real young. So what kind of hit you that made you become what some might call the conspiracy guy, as you have on JoyCamp there?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it started really young for me. I mean, I really didn't like school. I never really fit in school as far as, I fit in with my friends, but not in like the learning environment. I just always knew that there was something strange about what I was being taught, and I always was asking why. And we first learned about ancient Egypt in 2nd grade, and when I saw the pyramids and the Sphinx, I was like, what are those? I want to know about that. And I wasn't interested in much in school, but I was really interested in that. When I learned about JFK as a kid, JFK died before I was alive. So, you learn about JFK and you learn that he was assassinated. And then in school, they even mentioned like, oh, he was killed and this is what went down. Oh, and by the way, there's a conspiracy about it, but don't worry about it, moving on. And I was like, whoa, what's the conspiracy? Like, what are other people saying about this? So I've always just been drawn to perspective, but I suppose the catalyst was 9/11. 9/11 happened when I was a senior in high school. And on the day that it happened, I just knew that there was something wrong about it. And back then, it was before YouTube, so I couldn't go online and do searches to figure out what was going on or what other people were saying about it. I just had an intuition that I was not being told the truth about it. And so it just, it created an itch inside of me And then a few years later, Loose Change came out, and some other videos started emerging, and it was exactly what I was waiting for. And I made a vow to myself when I was 20 years old to know the truth about the world and reality, and I just committed to that, and that's where it's led me. It's led me to places like this and doing what I do, and yeah, so I guess it started young, but 9/11 really pushed me over the edge.
And we are all led to be controlled, subservient from so many different arms of government, banks, central banks around the world. We're being hit from so many angles. So when you get into conspiracy theory, so to say, theory I put in quotations often, it can lead you down the rabbit hole of who's controlling the money, who's controlling the governments, who's controlling the laws, and the stuff that forces you into subservience to these entities, because of course they can't survive without our subservience and our debt and our complete unbridled apathy. But I wanted to talk a bit about you've been getting into real estate, and we talk a lot about the monetary system, we talk a lot about the markets here at World Alternative Media, and that is one of the greatest ways to push people into subservience, as I mentioned, with debt, etc. So, the real estate industry we see in many places, it's starting to get bubbled up to the point of, you look at LA, for example, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
San Diego, places around California in general. What do you think is kind of like the red pill when it comes to the problem in the real estate market? Because obviously it's important to have cash flow, but then again, you're also facing off with the banks who obviously give big loans to people who can't afford it.
Right. The problem with let me address that a little more broadly. I think that the problem is we don't have any education on money. That was the red pill for me. When because I was blaming money for a lot of things in my 20s in particular. I thought that money was a tool of the devil and it was meant to keep us oppressed. But then I realized that money's a tool like anything else. Just like a hammer, you can build a house or you can beat someone's brains in. Money can destroy or it can create. So when I had that realization, it just flipped a switch. And I think that to me, I use that as like my primary example of how this system doesn't want us to succeed. We have absolutely no education on money, what it is, why we have it, or how to use it. And so without that education, most people are disgruntled, which is why they turn to things like socialism, because they don't understand money, so they want to cut everyone else's. They think if someone's rich, they owe them something. And I've had my lens for this has been so adjusted in the last couple of years. And with real estate, my girlfriend and I got into it to have financial freedom, cash flow, but also to do it for the right reasons, to recognize that people always need a roof over their heads, and there's a way to do it without involving the banks, and make it peer-to-peer, voluntary, and everybody wins. It's about problem solving. So for us, we take we do it from the heart. So if we can't help somebody, even if we could make money off their house, we're not going to do it, because we want to make sure everybody benefits. It's about adding value. So what's beautiful about real estate, the way that we do it, the way we've been taught to do it, is everybody wins. And it's voluntarism in action. It's how can we solve this problem so that everybody's happy. So that the person selling the house is happy, the person who's buying the house is happy, the person who's loaning us money to do the rehab on the house is happy, without getting any overlords involved.
It sounds like free market capitalism to me.
Absolutely, and it's the best. It's the best example of that, I think. So we really fall in love with it. It's funny. I was an actor for 20 years, and I'm more excited about doing real estate as a career than I ever was about acting as a career. I love performing, but I hated the business part of it. I hated trying to pursue a dream in Los Angeles. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Well, absolutely. I think that's so important, though, because so many people, for example, recently, as we reported, there are huge lineups, over 1,000 people waiting for subprime mortgages. You see the repeat of things that happened before, and it doesn't need to be that way, because real estate, when it comes to cash flow, you need to have that diversity in your portfolio. So it's not just like cryptocurrencies and capital gains, but also at the same time, you got the cash flow, and then you can kind of lean back on one or the other if you understand it. And not enough people understand money, and if you don't understand understand money, you can't control your money, and if you can't control your money, the people who control the money control you. So I think that's so important to mention here. Benny, can you tell everyone where they can find more of your work? Because I know you're up around 20,000 on YouTube, and I seriously, guys, go subscribe, because these guys have put out like flawless content for years, and they should have way more subscribers than this. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think this has a lot to do with YouTube's algorithm, because I mean, really, this is really well produced content, some of the best performances I've seen, really. I do mean that. So I hope everyone checks it out, but can you tell everyone where they can go to find more of your work and support you?
Yes, okay, I'm very easy to find online, and JoyCamp, my YouTube channel, is very easy to find. You can go to joycampwebsite.com. You can follow me on Instagram at joycamp_IG. We're JoyCamp on Twitter, we're JoyCamp on Facebook, JoyCamp on YouTube, JoyCamp on DTube and Steemit, and Minds.com and BitChute. We are so findable. But he's right. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and I think it's one of the pitfalls of not producing content daily or even weekly is that it's hard to really build momentum. That, coupled with the conspiracy angle, where there is suppression of views. I mean, we've seen view counts go down on videos. We lose subscribers all the time who tell us that they were unsubscribed to the channel. So there's definitely something going on. But you can find me, Benny Wills, easily, JoyCamp very easily. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm accessible, and yeah, man, that's it.
Well, a huge recommendation for me as well is that, what was the name of that recent video you guys did with the guy looking for likes and thumbs up from Facebook and, you know, Twitter followers and all that kind of stuff? It was a really cool JoyCamp video that recently came out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have a video that came out recently called Me and My Shadow, which is about like these impulses we have to, that keep us away from our journey and our like path of integrity, and these distractions that, you know, these impulses that we crave, these endorphin rushes like attention online, but it really doesn't do anything to add value to your life. And yeah, check that video out.
Honestly, I thought it was just so beautifully done and it had such a great message to it. So I'd had to give a shout out to that video as well. We'll have links in the description, guys. Go follow, go subscribe, go like, go do all that stuff, and you know, help the guy with his shadow and with lots of likes and all that kind of. Anyway, so thank you for joining us, and talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so heavily demonetized and censored by YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. The shadow banning is getting really bad, guys. Also, check our Bitcoin address right here on the screen or in the description below. We really appreciate it. And of course, check us out at the Red Pill Expo 2019. Of course, the great G. Edward Griffin and so many other incredible speakers will be there. Our link for that is below as well. And we cannot forget Mike Maloney's goldsilver.com, which you can also find in the description. One of the greatest market and monetary historians out there. We really encourage everyone to check that out. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.